Yeah, so we have our guest right here in the studio, and I'm sure we're going to be having a great time with him. Our guest is a Nigerian actor with a bachelor's degree in theater arts. He broke into the Nigerian movie industry in 2009 after winning the 4th edition of a popular reality show. He played his first major role as the lead character in the 2011 film Mami, and it's been up for him ever since. Wole Ojo is here in the studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Are you sure you're good?
You look
Yeah,
tired.
very good.
He looks tight.
Tired.
Tired. Oh.
Well, I am sort of, because work has been...
Because you
very-
actually slept off this morning.
Yeah, I did.
And then you remembered you have to
Why
Yes,
are
I
you
have
guys
to.
opening his laundry in the
Yeah,
public?
please.
Why?
Thank you.
Our
Someone should
guest.
cover for me.
Welcome to the show.
be. Well, so what is
Thank
the
you.
reason for this? Being tired and then sleeping off.
Work. I've been working a lot of late. It's early in the year, and Nollywood has really kicked off with a bang. And yeah, so I've been pretty involved in so many things. I finished work late last night.
I want to talk about your Nollywood story. You know, I was reading about you, and I found out that you have been acting since you were 9. And I saw this interview where you said your mom challenged you because you used to stay very, very close to NTA at the time, and you were always talking about things you saw on TV. And she challenged you and said, if you think you can do the same thing they're doing, or if you're capable, then go and get a job there. And you did.
Yeah.
At
yeah.
9.
The story was pretty, well, straightforward and funny. I practically grew up in front of the television. You had a lot of programs way back, watched a lot of Will Smith, Martin Lawrence and the likes. And I will always, act in church, in school, dramatize at home. And I would always watch Kiddies Vision 101 and critique every single move. And like, yo, that's not how you do it. And my mom just like...
At 9.
You just, yes, at 9, I
Wow.
was that kid. And my mom was like, you keep disturbing us about it. NT is just right there. And yeah, because I grew up in the
I
barracks.
got a job for yourself already.
Yeah, so and one day I just like, okay, you know what? Let's give this a trial. And that's how it all started.
So would
A
you say-
confident child you
Yeah,
were.
would you say that informed you studying creative art at the end of the day?
Oh, yes, it did, because I remember I've always wanted to be a lawyer, yeah. And when I told my dad that I was switching for theater, he sort of was like, but being the supportive person he is, it was like, okay, if it's what you want to do, go ahead.
Do it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so you were involved in the reality show, and at the end of the day, you became very, from where you started from at the age of 9 and all that, and then you blew into this. And so sometimes I just ask people, when you do this and you do it alone as an actor, I don't know if you have other gigs you do.
Oh, yeah, I do all this stuff. It's... we need a whole day to talk about.
it. But then I'm always just wondering, can one just be an actor and be an actor and then
Alone?
you're cashing out alone and that is what you do for a living?
In Nigeria, there's a misinformation out there, even worldwide. There's a certain level you get to, yes, it will do that. But before you get to that level, you can't survive on acting alone. You can't. It's one information I didn't get growing up, and I realized that late, and I had to start adjusting. And I think it's an info that needs to be put out there for upcomers. You need to have something doing. You need to have something on the side. What that does for you, it puts you in a pole position to be able to negotiate your fees to what you think is fair.
Instead of being
because
desperate.
you're not desperate. You're not jumping on every offer you have. You become a bit selective of your projects. You know what you want to put your face on, and the dynamics is endless. So yeah, dynamics are endless. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to ask you more about your Nollywood story, but we have to go on this quick break, and when we return, we'll still have Wole Ojo in the studio.
Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Wole Ojo and Adesua told me in Brave. Yes. Do you like seeing yourself do you watch your movies after you shoot and when they're out?
Alone, sometimes alone, and I do that to critique myself to see things I can do better. And I'm always heavy on myself, but I don't like watching myself with people around.
Why? So that we don't critique you.
It's just, no. I take criticisms. I studied theatre, so I take criticism very easily. Criticism is part of the job. I don't frown at it. You say what you need to say, and I take what I need to get from it. But there's this awkwardness that comes when you're watching with people and just like, yay, especially when you spot something that you could have done better, and then you're looking for the reaction from everybody, like, okay, did they get that? Did they see that? So yeah.
So you were going to ask
Yeah,
about
I told you this before when we went on that break that how do you feel when people tend to confuse your Wole Ojo? There's Wole Ojo in the same Nollywood.
He's an imposter.
In the same Nollywood industry.
Wale, if you're watching.
How do you feel when people get to mix everything up once in a while?
It's a lot of people are starting to know better, and that's because I think Wale is a more popular Yoruba name than Wole. So even most people tend to call me Wale, and I correct that.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, no, my name is Wole. Then he comes, and they start Wole Ojo. Sometimes he gets nominated for an award, and I'm getting called. I get nominated. He's getting called. We're on an interview and blah. Both of us have gotten cast for jobs at different times, and the production manager or the producer is calling the wrong person.
Are you serious?
Yes, there was this one. I was this close. I was 3 days from traveling to PH City for
And it
a
was
shoot.
not you.
I had negotiated and everything and all, and then I got a call. Oh, we're so sorry. We're talking about. So yeah, it happens.
No way. I like the fact that you're taking it like, so jovially. And
No, it's cool. It's fine. We
everybody
laugh
else
about it a lot because there was a time we almost did an interview on a red carpet together. We were going to talk about it, so we laugh, and he's a pretty cool person.
that's fantastic.
Because
I love
I'm
your
wondering,
personality.
how do you now make conscious efforts to like make people know that I am Wale? Maybe you add something to your name.
Yeah,
I'm younger.
exactly.
Wow.
Interesting. Okay, so we're talking about off air. We're just talking about the gig, how you have passion for something, and at the end of the day, because just yesterday somebody was just saying to me when I said you'd be the one on the show today. So somebody said to me that he's not been in so many movies lately, and now you said that you slept off because you've been working.
Yeah.
So for that person, the person thinks I've not been seeing him. Why is that? Is it that there are jobs that you take and there are jobs you don't take, or?
No, but that's standard. The jobs you do and the jobs you don't do, and there are some jobs you do for the bills. I will be very honest with that. Sometimes you just like, it's famine season and that job just comes and you read the script and you're like, yeah. And then the producer tells you, yeah, bling, bling, this is what we have for you. And you'll be like, okay, we'll take one for the team. But now with the kind of, I don't mean to sound off, but with the kind of jobs I've been associated with, throughout my career, I apologize if I sound cocky. They've been premium in a certain kind of way. If you look at Mommy, Brave, and the likes of them. So the kind of jobs I get myself involved in, they take, there's a process. It takes time to come out. So while I'm working and you're thinking is not doing anything, you're not seeing a lot, there's a lot going on.
Especially with series that takes so long to
so
shoot.
I've got a whole lot coming out. There's Scam Seed, there's, what's the other one? A lot of working titles because the titles might change.
I would like to talk about your selection of movies that you decide to take, because I remember you mentioned about how you feel Nigerian actors were not stretched. You know, how you feel like there's almost like a typecasting going on where you're just put in this comfortable box. Now, this 2020, this interview was like 2 years ago. Has that changed?
Change is relative. Those roles will come, but they don't come as often as you would want it. Yeah, so to a certain extent, the actor, the talent is left with the honor, so the duty to look for those roles, speak to producers and directors and say, okay, I want you to give me a chance in this kind of, Because in fairness to the producer, we don't make the kind of money we want to make, and everybody wants to play safe. And when they say, okay, they see Honeypot playing this kind of role, and the audience have accepted her in that kind of role, so when the producer wants to shoot, the producer wants to sell, so he's just going to get, she will get Honeypot for that kind of role because you have like 1 million viewers who want to see her in that kind of role. So it's not left for her to say, okay, give me a shot at playing this kind of role, and then the producer has to take a chance. So it's
So
not
it's almost
every
like
time.
a risk.
Yes, so it's not every time the producer would want to take a chance. But yeah, there's some projects I have one with Uzodinma Okpeche, which is called Kamsi. The role is kind of like different from what I'm going to do. It's a BOI project that's going to come sometime later in the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
talking about Uzodinma Okpeche, you've worked with a whole lot of Nollywood greats, Charles Novia, Tunde Kelani. Who is your favorite that you worked with that didn't?
My favorite, okay, funny enough, one of the, I don't like, you're trying to set me up. I'm not going to answer that question. I love all of them.
Why you were always going to
Yes,
say
I was almost
something.
going there, so I'm going to
Now
be
you caught
political about
yourself.
this. I love all of them. Like, yo, man, all directors and producers. Yeah, I love them.
Wow,
I
that's
give
good.
up. I give up. Is Wole Ojo tying the knot anytime soon? Because there's some girls around that are just coming into the studio.
Wow.
That is easier.
Especially
Okay,
because of the voice.
I've said this 10 billion years ago, 10,000 years ago, 2 days ago. Now, say it in the future, my private life is private.
Woo!
Married.
Nice one, nice one. I like that.
All right, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
through,
much.
and we'll definitely be looking out for more works from you this year. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's a wrap with our guest. Daily Top 5 is next, so stay tuned. Thank you once again.